George, can you talk about your experience with your rifles and the scopes, which I'm sure a lot of guys would be interested. What do you prefer and why? The kind of evolution, because you've been using them for 15 years now.
Hit!
I've got night forces, I've had Smith benders, I've had Vortex, is it Vortex?
Yeah.
Or Vertex or whatever. Anyway, Steiners. What attracted me to start with, because I was doing the ultra long range, was the 40 millimeter main tube and the shots glass. And I have not been disappointed one bit.
It's like a different world, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
It is a different world, and you can come from almost any of the other scopes. At the time that I came off of the Schmidt benders and went on to this, it was like they'd say, "Well, what have you got?" Some of my friends would, "Well, yeah, well, let me have a look," and the response would be, I just paid $3,600 or whatever for that Smith bender, and I just got it 3 days ago. I wish I would have known about this other scope, and that's the way it's been.
Yep.
Every time these guys use either the Terminator, which is what I've had. I run a couple of Terminators and a Crusader sometimes, and then Crusader at the moment is my personal favorite one. Yeah, is it? You know, and I mean, I just tell it how it is, but I rarely ever run over 26. Sometimes on a clear day, maybe 30.
But if you didn't need that 40, that glass is actually good enough to where you could get use out of it.
Oh yeah, you could.
But for shooting, yeah, sometimes
for use,
I'm the same way too. Yep.
If you want to stay on target and all that, about 26 is maxed out. And that's with your. A lot of times people will use their scopes and they shoot and they say, "Man, I can't stay on target," and blah blah blah. It's not their scope; it's the way they've got.
Turn her down a bit.
Their dovetail rifle has got a built-in fulcrum.
Yeah, that
where
too.
It's all below the center line.
Yep.
So the thing's going to come up.
Yep.
And there's no way you can get rid of it. You got to get on center line with it to make it work. And then after that, all of a sudden, instead of running 14 power to see the bullet hit, you can see it at 26 with a smaller field of view. And
because you do have that straight back recoil. It's not twisting you off the target.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's I never thought about it like that. So that's like the perfect combination. If you want to use that high magnification in your optic while you're shooting, you got to have everything centered so you get a straight recoil. So that's a good combo, actually, a natural mate.
We're working on the twist part of it still.
Okay.
Because that has not been eliminated completely, but we're pretty close.
Okay.
And but as far as the muzzle rise. We've eliminated that basically. And
what's your experience with the twist? Can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, it just makes it move over to the right.
Yeah, the torsional from the spin of the bullet.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Especially when you're shooting heavier caliber, you'll notice it.
The bullet is pushing on the land.
Yep.
So it's pushing it over there.
Yep.
And it does. It pushes it over.
An opposite and equal reaction spread out amongst the rest of the rifle, so it twists a
little.
little.
We can only move on this stuff so fast.
Right.
But we've tried all kinds of stuff. We hang stuff off of one side of the rifle. We use wider feet on one side.
Okay.
Just whatever it takes to get the job done. And I've used. I started using the 3-18s, which is an older scope, a long time ago. And then, for me, the first great one that they had, and still is to this minute, is the Terminator. And now they come out with the Crusader, and they've got the Recon, and these scopes offer serious performance. They offer glass that's the best glass in the world.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. Yep.
And I think that you can find on a commercial rating that Swarovski still maintains the rule, but then you'll keep reading and you'll find out that shots, the IOR glass rates dead even with the Swarovski.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a basic fact. And there's not.
And it's
any
hard
other
to
glass
explain
that's
it
rated
without
like
really looking through one, kind of.
that. Exactly.
You just got to get the guy to lay it down behind him. It might be a little maybe ugly in some people's opinions until you lay down behind it and you're like, whoa. I know I was actually kind of surprised the first time I tried that Recon out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, like you said, that 40 millimeter tube is just a whole nother planet. It's like when a guy's shooting the BB gun scopes when you're a kid, the little 3/4 inch tubes,
Yeah.
and you get your first 3 to 9, and you're like, wow. I didn't know they can be like this. That's how it is when you switch from a 30 millimeter to a 40 millimeter. It's just a whole nother planet, you know. Yeah.
Well, for ultra long range,
Mm-hmm.
our focus has not been so much to shoot 2 miles, even 3,000 yards. I mean, but we work out to 3,000 yards. But the point is what can we actually use? Right now, we can confidently train 10 guys out here with one of our rifles, specifically, like say a 300 408, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And we can count on that guy hitting, we like to use a 10 by 18 plate at 2,000 yards
Mm-hmm.
because it gives us a center mass that's livable. And you can train 10 guys with that rifle to step up with these good scopes. And believe it or not, I still personally at that distance, the glass is so good. I still use 14 power. I don't come on that, but I can hammer, and they can hammer, and you can train those guys to hammer that target at 2,000 yards, and that makes that thing really useful. That's something that that our boys can use.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other ones of the guys that are using the 375s right now that can hammer a 3,000 yard target, a 36 inch clay.
Mm-hmm.
Just at 3,000 yards, pretty steady. The 338 will do it too, but that 375, when it starts getting on out there, the heavier bullet is the ticket.
Yep.
But for that close in, and when I say close in, I'm talking 2,500 yards. that 338 408, I don't think that can be beat, but it's really good.
So what optical configuration do most of those like Marsoc guys or any of these like serious operators
Recon.
seem to kind of gravitate towards? The Recons?
Yeah,
Okay.
Recon and
624, 56.
yeah, Recon, and then that 6 to 24,
56. the first
56,
focus.
that has just most bang for the buck of any scope. Period. Anywhere, anytime. Because you're in at about around $2,000, and it's producing the same thing that you're going to spend $3,000 for.
Yep.
On other scopes.
Yep.
And it's durable. They work. They're just what can you say? You know, they're super scopes.
They work good? Yep.
Really good.
Yep.
I do like this new one, this new prototype. It might be the
525.
525. Yeah, it might be the best scope ever made at this point, from my standpoint. For general all-around use.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, for the ultra long range, I'm still in the Crusader.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and we're not the only ones. You know, the Americans get kind of faddish and stuck on things, and then they're all going to go one way or another. That's why we come up with terminology like Ninja Mall and CDIs. We have our CDIs. You know what that stands for? Chicks dig it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, and then all the guys get to run in one thing, and they're all stuck on running that one thing, and they don't look outside the box much. It's just, I want to be cool.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
Yep.
and run what everybody else runs. And Russians and Chinese, they don't play that game. Their boys are over there right now, tuning in and honing their 408s, while our guys are still messing around with 300 WMs. And those guys are running Crusaders. You know, they get scopes just like us, anywhere. And they're going for what's working on their big long range stuff. Their 375s and 408s are getting on down the road, and what are we doing over here? I mean, you know, if we don't just kind of get a few of us, handful of guys over here trying it, but they're doing it within their government. I mean, their government supports their military. Imagine that concept.
Hit! Oh! Hit.